Long Island is the Member of Parliament for Long Island and the Executive Chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation, Mr. Adrian Gibson. Good morning.
Good morning. It's
Welcome
pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you.
So we always talking about lovely Long Island. What are the specific challenges that's facing the island at this time?
Well, we have a lot of quite a number of socio-economic challenges, and they generally stem from the fact that we lack certain infrastructure, water from end to end, which I'm working on now, an airport, which would spur economic development. You know, most cities of the world, they're built around an airport. I think of other infrastructure concerns with respect to health, improving the healthcare system on the island, improving the road network on the island, and so on. But the two major issues is the lack of the airport, which impacts obviously the tourism and the local and foreign investment side of it, and of course the extension of water. Without utilities in place, people would be less inclined to invest. I was looking at another island the other day, saw a nice piece of property, cheap, but when I recognized that there was no utilities, that was the turn off. So I know the feeling.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in particular about the water issues, how are you going to be addressing that?
Well,
what's your focus?
As it stands, I signed a $5.5 million contract in May. That contract is currently being done by BHM. That includes two phases, as far as Lochabar in the south and Thompson Bay in the north. But there's another phase or two that we have upcoming. But we're also helping some of the other islands, Crooked Island, Lucia, etc. My view in the Bahamas is this: if we truly want to see the Bahamas develop, we must focus on our family islands and getting the infrastructure in those family islands. I think for people to go back home and invest, you'll see the country truly reach its true potential.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So that covers the water. You mentioned the airport. Where is this airport going to be? Tell us a little bit about that. Tell me too about banking, which is also very important for persons on the outer islands.
Yes.
How are you looking at those items?
Well, in the case of the airport, I've spoken to Minister of Works, the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, as well as the Minister of Tourism and Aviation.
Okay.
And the consensus is that next year, the design and planning phase begins.
Good.
We're looking at 8 months to about a year for that phase, and then of course after that the construction. And so, whilst I wouldn't want to announce publicly a set date,
We'll hold you to it.
Oh yes, I'll speak to that later.
Okay.
And I can tell you I'm holding my colleagues to it as well. But I expect some real work to begin next year, early next year.
Very good.
With respect to the banking side of it, to your question on banking, we are unfortunately without a bank. And there are rumors that the last bank that is in Long Island is looking to maybe pull out. And that bank is semi-operational. You can't carry cash deposits, but you can transfer. Unfortunately, the number houses and the utilization of these number houses, whether it's for gambling or transferring money or even putting money in accounts, have greatly hampered family island economies, especially the banking situation. You look at shareholders in Canada and elsewhere, when they look at these islands for them are losses. And added to that, if you are using number houses as opposed to the bank, that causes banks to pull out because they can't make their money. They're business as well that survive on revenue and profit. If persons are transacting through the number houses, there are no fees for banks, there's no money left over to get loans, etc. And that's been unfortunately the situation in Long Island.
Okay.
I continue to work on trying to resolve the banking issue. Spoke to the Minister of Finance recently about having the Bank of the Bahamas come down, as well as a few other entities like Sun Island Transfers and so on, to see what they can do to assist us in Long Island.
Okay, so it sounds like you're making the necessary steps to get to where we need to be.
Doing my best.
So on Thursday, this coming Thursday, you're going to be in Long Island, Clarencetown Community Center, at Business Outlook, and you'll be talking about creating a world-class, heavy words there, world-class Long Island.
Yes.
Can you give us just a little bit of information about some of the points you intend to make during that presentation?
Definitely. I'm going to talk about improvement with respect to infrastructure. I'm going to talk about improvement to society, some of the issues, the ills that we have to address on the island. And I'll leave it there. You have to come to see the rest.
So I need to take a flight and come over. Okay.
I invite all to come down, Long Islanders and Nassau, and Long Islanders particularly on the island, to come down and see what will be addressed. But certainly we're going to speak to business to consult the business houses on the island as well, and try to offer as much solutions as I could and a view for the future.
Okay, so you just give us a little bit of information there, but that's fine. We'll have to come down and see. So Long Island's been impacted by hurricanes, as we all know. How's the recovery been, and how's Long Island doing at this point?
Well, we have been steadily recovering. However, we have lost a lot of people due to hurricane walking. Some persons moved out. It's been a slow and steady recovery. The reality is it greatly hurt the economy. It set Long Island back about 40 years.
Wow.
And so, you're talking about a hurricane that did severe damage. With governmental support, with the infrastructural development, I think that we will creep out of where we are today.
Okay, little by little.
Piece by piece, little by little.
So there's a town hall meeting coming up too, by the Small Business Development Center. They're going to be talking to entrepreneurs. Is this activity supposed to encourage business entrepreneurs to get involved, and those who are even considering delving into business there? Will this be the spark that's needed?
I think so. And as a business person myself, that coupled with all the other things that we are doing, I think would inspire business persons and those people wanting to get into business to be encouraged to enter and to once one knows how to prepare a business plan, how to set up a business, I think that goes a long way, because the average payment really does not know. And so, so I welcome that. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So, your vision for Long Island, if you could look out on the horizon and you could see what Long Island is to be, tell us what that looks like.
Every time I travel to other islands, Exuma and Abaco and Eleuthera, I'm jealous. Okay? My vision for Long Island is to see a Long Island where we have the infrastructure, where we have our people return, where we have the economic situation where a person could feel good about Long Island. This is the Long Island that we knew. Long Island has declined from the 90s when I was growing up there. The population has gone down at least about 2,000 or more. The economy is tight. I want to see a Long Island where we have investment and development and our people returning home and feeling confident about Long Island.
I love it. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And I know you're married to a Long Islander.
I sure am, Major.
Yes.
I take pride in that.
Yes, definitely.
And let me give a shout out for the Long Island Fair, the comforter lady at the Long Island Fair, the mutton lady. Yeah.
The best.
On point.
The best.
On point. But thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We look forward to your presentation on Thursday, and all the best to you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.